Instagram. Master Dog here, aka the Furry GUNPLA Builder, has now another video for you, which I've had a few questions asked, which is, how do you get started building your first GUNPLA? Well, it's pretty simple. More simple than you probably think it would be. So let's dive into it and get started with this. Today's example kit will be a pretty simple one. Well, at least I thought it was simple when I bought it, but anyway, we'll get into that later. We are going to take a look at the SD line, which are the SD Gundams, which are one of the names for what SD stands for is Super Deformed Gundam, which for obvious reasons you can see why. So we will be taking this GUNPLA right here, this SD, and I am going to show you some tools, some optional tools, and the basics of which you will encounter when you work on this kit. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this little tutorial.
Here we go with the Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed. This is the SD model. This is the model we will be using today. Now on to opening the box. Well, okay, maybe not on the first try of opening the box, but yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to open the box with paws on, just saying. There we go. Okay, now, here we are. You have your box. You have your packages of runners, which is what the part's called. And now, with your package of runners, pretty much just dump them out or take them out, whichever is easiest for you. And you see we have a bunch of packages of runners, some stickers, and an instruction manual. Now from here, basically, you will see, once we actually get the manual open, lots of different pictures, very detailed pictures. The instructions are either sometimes in half Japanese, half English, or mostly Japanese, but with the pictures, you could see pretty clearly what you're doing. As for here, it goes by sections with this particular model, like the head section, the chest section, and I'll let you see in a little bit of a close-up that all the numbers, things are numbered where you will perform a certain assembly, then another certain assembly, and then put them together. So this is a more closer up look. You can also see the Japanese and some English as well. Now on to the stickers, as I said before. Basically, you have your basic stickers and your color correcting stickers. They're all on a sticker sheet, or sometimes you'll get a water slat sheet. Now we are at the part of the runners. If you can see that there's a letter and a number. There is also a corresponding letter and number on the instruction manual. So if it says a part number 4 on runner C3, then you grab runner C3 and then you find the part. It's pretty simple. And now, let's start talking about tools of the trade. We'll start with the beginning stuff and some optional stuff as well. This way you get to see a little taste of what there is. And here we are with the nippers, which are basically cutters. They cut the model part out of the plastic. These are different types, as you see here. Some with very thin blades, some with not so thin blades. It all depends on the price, some ranging from $5, some ranging to $70, depending on your preference. But to be honest, all you really need for today, for your first kit or even first few kits, is basically either just snap the plastic out with your hands or grab a fingernail clipper. To be honest, a lot of people actually use fingernail clippers for their beginner set of nippers, and they work. And now on to sandpaper. These are sanding sticks, which are basically small versions of sandpaper with some foam on the back. They range from different grit sizes, which the number is represented on them. Also, you could use a basic simple nail file, something from like Walmart or any little simple dollar store. It works very well. This one has a bunch of different sides on it, from rough to soft, and these work very well. But for today's project, this is an optional tool. You do not need that for today. Another optional tool are these X-Acto knives. Some people use these instead of nippers to cut out parts. They are also good for trimming parts and such like that. A very useful tool. And here we go. Get your instructions out. Find where the very first section is, right here. It basically shows the upper chest area, and that is where we will start. Here's a little close-up look of how the order is, and basically an example of how one of these instruction booklets will look. All of them do not look like this. This is the SD cross silhouette model kits. This is how their instructions look. So basically you get your runner, find which part needs to be removed or cut out, however you want to say it or see it, and begin. Basically we clip the edges. Well, basically I would say, for if you're just getting started, take the back of whatever the clippers, basically the flat side or fingernail clippers or whatever, and try to clip as close to the model as you can. Now when you get a little more experience, you will learn that this is probably not the best of techniques, but for somebody who just wants a straight build, a snap build, a vanilla build, just put it together and have fun. I find this to be the easiest way to do it without having a lot of chunks left over from the runner. You may have nut marks, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. So as you see, we basically cut out the parts we need. For this section, sometimes parts will go flying. That happens. Don't mind that. Now we are in the next step of basically attaching parts. What I like to do is cut out the parts that I need for the first section, which is that little rectangular area that you see me working in, and basically have all the parts ready and start assembling them. They usually tell you by numbers or some arrows which one needs to be placed in first before just randomly just attaching stuff that's within that section of the instructions. So as you see, yes, don't mind me, I have to use tweezers sometimes with my paws, so forgive my slowness of attaching parts due to the fact of 4 digits. Yeah. So as you see, as I take forever trying to pick up this part, you have to put the part in exactly the way they say to put it in, or you will run into fitment issues, which basically will mean the parts won't work because they've been put in the wrong direction. Now here we go. We got the neck piece in. Now we attach the front of the body. Make sure everything lines up. There's usually pegs to push in. Now you do not need glue with these models, but I use glue because I find it very useful and it helps the model's durability. But as you see, snap to fit. Move on to the next part. Next we move on to the stickers, or sometimes they come with water slats, but for this we will be doing stickers and showing how to place them on. One way I like to do it is to use the X-Acto knife, or you can even use a toothpick. I mean, you can use your fingers, But for me, more precise, I use something that will kind of like barely touch the sticker, just so I could get it on and can easily remove the item I'm using to apply it with. Works for me. Usually when placing a sticker, I like to put it directly on just a little bit so I have room to maneuver the sticker around. As you see, I'm trying to adjust the edges and stuff. And once you're done adjusting edges and everything, basically all you got to do is just make sure the sticker is remotely pressed down firmly without moving it or ripping the sticker, and you'll be all set. As you see, I'm taking the X-Acto knife and just barely touching the edges with the more duller side to move them around. As you see, there you go. I'm even can use my nails because dog, and firmly press down to make sure all the air bubbles are out. And that's done. And on to the next part. Once you have built all your pieces, basically now it is pretty much time for final assembly, which is assembling the limbs, the waist, the head. And as you see, some pieces have to, well, you got to really push them in. So amongst all the fluff of my paws, you see I am pushing the shoulder in, which, yes, the shoulder part came off. Normally I would have glued that on, but we're not using glue in today's tutorial. So basically, ball joints, they can pop in kind of rough. They can be a bit tight. Um, Push them in, but try to be gentle. Sometimes they can snap. There are chances some parts may snap. That's just how it is sometimes. But just be careful. The more careful you are, the less of a chance of anything breaking. And there I go, hitting the camera with my paws. My bad. So as you see, the arms left and right are assembled. Then we get to the waist area, and I think a leg just fell off, but it happens. We'll put that back together. Just got to remember to pick up the pieces and basically just continue where you left off. Try to work over a very wide desk, an open desk. Try not to work off any edges, or maybe use the box to work over the box, because some parts, when they fall and they hit the ground, they can be very difficult to find and locate. So just a little bit of a tip or suggestion. But just remember, this is your kit. Have fun with it. Once you have followed everything, all the instructions, as you see step by step, it shows each part you need. It should turn out like this. Hopefully, you didn't have any problems or any difficulty. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions in the comment section. I always check my comments. But as you see, we have the rifle, we have the shield, we have the backpack, and the accessories like wings and other little extra armaments and stuff. So far, this seemed like a pretty simple kit. I hope this was pretty simple for you guys as well.
Okay, and here we are at this point. The Freedom Gundam is done. We basically covered stickers, basic tools, assembly, and such little tidbits like that. Remember, this is a very beginner tutorial, so we're not covering, well, I should say, we didn't cover panel lining, we didn't cover glue, and a lot of other tools. I hope this was informative to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to come out with a few more tutorial videos to be helpful to you guys. And I will see you later. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, help the channel grow, and we'll get more content to you. See you later.